Hey y'all, what's up? It's your girl Tia, and I'm back with a quick message for you. The title of today's video is Your Name is Changing. Yes, your name is changing. So a little bit of backstory onto how I got this message. I was going through my journal this morning. Fridays are my days. It's literally my time with God. I'm able to sit quietly, peacefully. I'm able to just listen, write, read, study, and all of those things. And so one of the things that I have been contemplating this past week is I've been hearing God say, that, you've completed a cycle, all things new. There are all these things that are coming. There will be new fruit, all of these different messages that God has been given to me directly. And so one of the things that I've been contemplating is changing my title on Instagram and TikTok from Coach Tia Rouse to Tia Rouse. And so as I was contemplating that this morning, I was in prayer and I began to journal. One of the ways that God communicates with me is through my writing. I began to write, and immediately I looked down and I was writing, your name is changing. And so it went from me contemplating changing my name on social media to God really taking me deeper into the word. So he took me to Genesis 17, and that is the chapter where God changes Abram and Sarai's name to Abraham and Sarah. And so I ended up down the rabbit hole and really studying and looked up the meaning of the words, looked up the meaning of the names. And Abram means exalted father or father of many. And Abraham means father of many nations. And so it was just a very little indistinct change that he made to his name, but it was very significant, because this was around the time when God was delivering the message of the covenant agreement that he had with Abraham, and that he was going to be the father of many nations, and that he was going to bless Sarah to be a mother, and she would birth a son, and his name would be Isaac. And so when you really look at the seems very small, but it's very significant. Abram, meaning father of many, to being changed to Abraham, meaning father of many nations, was his way of solidifying the message, solidifying the promise, the covenant, the agreement that he had with him, even though he was not a father at this point. And so he also changed Sarai's name to Sarah. And so Sarai means my princess or my lady, and Sarah means princess. And so it seems very small, the changes that he made, but they were very significant changes, because he was establishing the covenant in the name change. Because of the covenant that he had, because of the agreement that he had with them, he was changing their name, and he was taking them from something that meant just very particular, as in my lady, my princess, that was confining her to one family, confining her to one thing, to princess, meaning indefinite. She is the princess. She is the one, the chosen one. Abram going from father of many to father of many nations was him establishing that I am going to make you a father of many nations. He was validating him through the name change. And so after I started to really study that out and God began to speak with me, I began to realize that, yes, I had Coach Tia Rouse on my social media because that was a way of me validating who I was. And when I was doing all the coaching, the healing coaching, the life coaching, when I was doing wellness coaching and all of those things, that was a way of validation for me, to validate that I was who I said I was, that it made it seem official, as if I needed a title to really just say, I'm a coach. I was announcing who I was through the title of a coach. But God has blessed me to be so many other things besides just a coach. I'm a coach, I'm a nurse, I'm a doula, I'm a speaker, I'm an encourager, I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I'm so many things. I'm so multifaceted. And so it doesn't make sense in this season to be known only as one thing. It doesn't make sense in this season to be minimized or diminished or boxed into just coach, because God has taken me through so many other avenues, that he's blessing me in so many different ways. And so I then began to realize that not only was I using the title as validation, I was also hiding because I felt like there were parts of myself that I was hiding from the world. I felt like I needed to have an alias of some sort because I didn't want people to necessarily know who I was. Not really realizing that it was a spiritual thing, that I was hiding not only in the physical realm, but in the spiritual, because I didn't want people to see me. But now, with everything that God has done in me in this season, He is removing the veil, and He's also removing the shame. He's removed the guilt. He's removed the fear. He's removed the self-sabotage. He's removed all the things that I was hiding behind. And no longer do I need validation of man. No longer do I need to be validated or known as a specific title, because I am who I am. Tia Rouse is enough. Tia Rouse, I am the Tia Rouse, okay? So I don't need to be Coach Tia Rouse, because Tia Rouse, just as Tia Rouse, is enough. And God has already validated me. And so I came today to deliver this message to somebody, that you do not need validation. You do not need to hide behind a moniker. You do not need a title to validate who you are or to go before you, because God is changing your name. God has already sent the message that He has changed, that you have completed a cycle. He's giving you new keys. He is moving you into something new, that there will be new fruit. And He is also sending the message today that your name is changing. Who you once were, you are no longer. Who you once had to hide behind, God is now bringing you to the forefront. You no longer have to be ashamed. You no longer have to move around in fear. You no longer have to hide behind the title, hide behind the label. You no longer have to hide, because God is changing your name. He is changing your name, and with your name change, He is changing your status. He is changing your assignment. He is changing everything that you've ever known is changing in this season. God is changing your name. He has given you new keys. You have completed a cycle. You are walking into something new that has never been done. And with all of these things, God is changing your name. He knows your name. He knows everything that you've been through, and He's validating you today. His name change is going to come with the validation that you've been seeking from man. You no longer have to ask for validation. You no longer have to be waiting for acceptance. You no longer have to wait from anything from man, because God sees you, God knows you, and God is validating you, and He is changing your name. If this message resonates with you, please, first of all, take it to the Lord in prayer and ask Him, what are you supposed to do with this? Make sure that this is a message for you. Always test the spirit. Study to show yourselves approved. If you want to study what I was talking about, please go into Genesis 17 and look for yourself and study it and really, really dig deep into it. But please, 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 if this message resonates with you, I want you to type in the comments, "My name is changing," and share this message with somebody else. Peace and love.